All right. Welcome in here to Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel. It's just I tonight. It is just you and I will do my best to cheer you folks up because, boy, it's kind of been a tough night in the league, a tough evening in the league. It was a great day. Cats in Mississippi State come through for the league with huge wins. Arkansas falls 94. Yeah, you heard that right, guys. 94 to 85. Didn't see a 90s and 80s shootout happening between the Cougs and the Razorbacks, but that is what we got. Arkansas, we'll just start there, folks, as everybody starts to hop in. Phil's here, Rusty's here. Feel bad for you guys. That was a tough one. Fall behind too early. The Trayvon Brazil fouls, the turnovers lead into Houston transition points. Falls behind by, 21 guys? And against, I know it's not Houston of last year with all that offense, but man, when you're turning the ball over and you're giving Emmanuel Sharp wide open transition threes, when you can get Kingston Flemings, man, that Kingston Flemings. I know Cryer was fantastic for the Cougs last year, but man, Flemings really brings a different element of shot creation for that Houston offense and really ripping and running in transition. Flemings gets going early, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, only 1 turnover. Man, it's just too much of a deficit to try to come back. You eat into the lead a good amount. Some tough play from Billy Richmond, regardless of his offense. He still puts in 12 points and made both of his threes. Malik Thomas couldn't get going, but Billy gets you back into the game. Malik Ewan gets you back into the game. And then there's those Emmanuel Sharp threes. 3 in a row, it felt like. And one of them was from about 30 feet, way outside. NBA threes. That extends the lead that had gotten cut down to single digits back out to 15. And then it was just not enough time to come back after that one. As Ty Rich here says, Arkansas hits their free throws and they win by 5. Man, in a game like that, in a game against a Houston defense, where you're not going to get too many easy looks, I thought there was a lot of, even though the Razorbacks shot 8 of 20 from 3, there were a few DJ Wagner threes wide open that I thought should have gone down. I mean, good, clean looks created by ball movement and ball reversal, some offensive rebounds, kick out for threes that just did not go down and have to go down in a game like this. And then as good as Ewan was, missed 7 free throws, and they were important free throws. You leave 14 points at the line, only 60% as a team for the Razorbacks, when Houston goes 19 of 25, an efficient 76%. Phil, yeah, I mean, Ewan was having a fantastic, they couldn't stop him, gets Tugler in foul trouble. We said that in the preview. We said this Houston team, they are really good, but they don't have the depth of last year. They don't have no Jawan Roberts. You know, there's not the depth with foul trouble. I mean, Khalifa Sakho's been playing good for them. He didn't play in the game. So to have Tugler pick up 4 fouls early in that second half, you got to be thinking as a Razorback fan, man, we got an opportunity here. We got some momentum. Their offense has slowed down. We've got Tugler in foul trouble. We've got Senac, the freshman, in foul trouble. We're knocking at the door. There's an opportunity here. Couldn't make the big shots enough to pull this one off. I don't want to be too negative here. I mean, you got to credit Houston. You know, they mucked the game up early with their defense, and the transition offense allowed them to get out and hold that lead. And you just, man, it's tough to play from behind against a Houston team. Usually in these Houston games, you can get them to go on a drought. You know, these Houston offenses have a little bit of trouble manufacturing efficient looks in their half court. But when they're controlling the game like that, man, you need a little bit more scoring from your support guy. You know, Malik Thomas just looks a little lost out there. You're not getting that 16 points at Michigan State. You know, the early offense, the aggressive Malik Thomas kind of looks a little timid out there right now, and you can't blame him. He's playing one of the best defenses in the country, but you need Malik Thomas to be aggressive in a game like that, especially, guys, in a game where Trayvon Brazile has those early fouls. You know, Brazil's got the early fouls. Pringle can't really get anything going against the bigs. Ewan is holding his own. You got Billy Richmond coming in off the bench, adding some unexpected threes. Where's that perimeter pop from DJ Wagner or Malik Thomas? It wasn't there in this game, and the Hogs fall short. That's kind of my main takeaways from those as you guys hop in. I know it's been a tough night. It's been a tough night. Holly says, we've all seen what Arkansas can do when they're clicking. I'm really not going to be too hard on the Hogs in this game. I am going to. I mean, you're going to knock them a little bit, right? I mean, it was ugly in the first half. We pulled up that graphic in one of our shows, in the morning shows this week, about the only usage players, the high usage players in the nation that have an assist to turnover ratio north of 2-1. Arkansas was the only team in the country that had 2 players on that list. No other team in the country had, I think it was like a 25% usage rate. I could be a little bit wrong on that, but high usage guys with nice assist to turnover rates, that should translate nicely against these tough defenses. And Houston got the better of that matchup tonight. Who was it? Said a comment that Cheap Shot Artist called it the turnover margin, except the trends went the other way. Yeah. Rusty hops in and says, from the 15-minute mark to the 10-minute mark in the first half was the worst 5 minutes of basketball we played all year. Am I going to disagree with you, Rusty? That was tough. I'm not going to disagree with you. And in a game like that, to go down 21 and then to show the fight, I do like that. If we're looking at silver linings, right, guys? Because, I mean, let's be honest. That was a tough performance. That was letting up 94 to Houston, an offense that averages in the 60s. 94 points on only 73 possessions is a bad defensive performance. So you got to credit Houston a little bit, but a silver lining, they did not roll over. It's easy to roll over against a team like Houston, against a team like Iowa State, against these tough teams. They did not roll over, fought back. So yeah, I do like that. Coming up for Arkansas, they got a decent James Madison team. It's not James Madison of the past few years when Byington was there. James Madison, 206th right now in Ken Palm. They're not the James Madison the past few years. And then you open SEC play home against Tennessee. You got one little tune-up game here on Monday, quick turnaround. Or no, you got a week, more than a week off. Next Monday, after Christmas. Merry Christmas, by the way, everybody. I said Kelvin Sampson. I love Kelvin Sampson as a coach, but happy holidays at the end. Come on, Merry Christmas, come on. But you open up against Tennessee. Ken Palm has that right now as a 1. To correct the mistakes and get ready for SEC play. Ken Palm's projecting a 21-point victory against James Madison, but you don't want to go out against James Madison after 8 days off, and just kind of lay over. Need a good bounce back performance there against James Madison. And I mean, you let me know, Hogs fans. Are you guys, what are your thoughts after this game? Are you worried at all about the turnovers, maybe a little bit of the ball pressure? Are you worried at all about maybe Malik Thomas's past few games? 8 points against Texas Tech, 3 against Queens, 7 against Houston, or are we feeling all right, just going through a little bit of a rut? For me personally, I think Malik Thomas is just going through a little bit of a rut, maybe similar to a little bit of what Nate Ament was starting with. Just lost his confidence a little bit. It happens to freshmen. This is a tough strength of schedule here for Arkansas. The past few games: Texas Tech, Louisville, Duke, Houston. Phil says a little bit worried about Thomas. Rusty a little bit worried. I mean, hey, it's been 3 games now. So he is going through a little bit of a rut, but the talent's there. We saw what he could do in early November. I think he's just got to have 1 or 2 games where he has some shots go in, maybe draws some more contact and is a little bit more aggressive. I'm not worried about Malik Thomas, though. We've seen this guy's talent. It looks like it's a little bit of a mental thing, maybe a little bit like Xavier Lee. You know, you go through those. Brian checks in here. Good to see you, Brian. Houston did exactly what they wanted. Take out Acuff or Brazil. They took out Brazil 100%. I love the fight that they showed being down 21. Houston is just a good team. Hey, I like that take. Brian. You know, the problem with Brazil a little bit, if we can touch on that shortly, is he does have a tendency to get taken out of the game. And then you see those moments when he gets the ball on the perimeter, backs his guys down and draws contact and gets to the line. And you're thinking, or at least I'm thinking, Trevon, you can do that every possession. They've got to respect your shooting out on the perimeter, even if you're having an off night from outside. You've got games of 5 threes, 4 threes, 3 threes this year. Be aggressive. Get to the line. 8 of 10 from the free throw line, the first game of the year from Brazil. Since that first game, he has not shot more than 4 free throws in a game. I want a little bit more aggression, and especially in a game against Houston, where you can really get them in foul trouble, which Ewan was doing a great job at. I loved Ewan. Hey, you're not making your free throws. Got to clean that up, but at least you got Tugler in foul trouble. At least you got Senac in foul trouble. So my thing with Brazil is, man, he's so talented. And at times when, like Phil, now you're not even attempting shots is weird. Only takes 3 shots the whole game. It's like sometimes I want a little bit more aggression, given he's shown us that he can do it, right? And so then when you get against a tough game, you got 2 fouls, you haven't played much in the first half. Instead of your first shot in that second half being kind of a quick shot in the possession, a catch and shoot 3, which he's capable of making, yes. But, I mean, let's be honest. When the broadcast says after a shot, that's a bad shot, it's probably a bad shot. And it ends up being an air ball, so it's easy to call it a bad shot if it doesn't go in. But why don't you try to get to the line, draw some more contact? I don't know. I think Brazil, I love his game. I just want him to be a little bit more consistent with the aggression. And Holly, I think you think you're right, Holly. You're in a game like this that's as physical as this, basically playing rugby out there, going for every rebound. You're not into the flow of the game. I don't think Trevon ever got into the flow of this game. Cheap Shot Artist with a $5 super chat. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hog fan here. It's honestly impressive that the Hogs lost by 9 with how well Houston shot. Houston won't shoot that well again all year. Both teams are solid. Hey, yeah. Houston might. I mean, Emmanuel Sharp, what a shooter. Jeez, was making insane shots. Uzan has turned into, early in his career, really was not a shooter, has turned into a knockdown guy. And you got those back-to-back transition threes from Harwell that just blew the game open. So, you caught Houston on a good shooting night, but let's be honest. Those 2 Harwell threes in transition, wide open. A few of those Uzan threes, the kickouts from Fleming, wide open. So, I mean, it wasn't just like, I'll push back a little bit. It wasn't like it was like 5 threes from Emmanuel Sharp from 27 feet out where he's just chucking them. And you're like, are you kidding me? A lot of those threes were created by Kingston Fleming's pushing the ball in transition and Kingston Fleming's getting a paint touch, offensive rebound kickouts and stuff like that. But given that, right? Given Houston scoring 94, given Arkansas turning the ball over 12 times, you get nothing offensively from Pringle or Brazil. To only lose by 9, hey, you have some things you can hang your hat on. I'm really not getting too hard on the Hogs here. They played a tough team that normally does not shoot that well, and you caught them on a good shooting night. I'm not going to get too hard on the Hogs. I think you bounce back against James Madison, get Malik Thomas his confidence back, and then boom, big game. Saturday, January 3rd, at home against Tennessee. And you'll be catching Tennessee on a 3-game win streak, coming off of a 21-point win at home against Louisville, and then they got Gardner-Webb in South Carolina State. So you'll catch Tennessee coming in on a little bit of a roll. Quick reset here. We got about 200 plus of you in here. I am having a little bit more trouble keeping up with the chat when it is just me, so bear with me if I miss you. 9 is checked in with a $2 super chat. Can the SUNY Cortland Red Dragons be previewed? Yeah, you guys have caught on to my Red Dragons, my alma mater. I don't think the Red Dragons would have done too well out there against the Cougars tonight. I'll tell you that much. I'll keep coming with the chats there, Hogs fans. I will circle back to this game and add some more thoughts. I'm not overreacting to this one. You guys know me. I'm the overreactor. Not overreacting to this one. Moving around the league a little bit. There's about a minute 30 left. Holy smokes. I just checked the score. Auburn is losing by 30 to Purdue. I have not caught about the last 25 minutes of that game as I've been on here with you guys, but the first half was pretty much the story there. I'll add more thoughts after this one finishes, but holy smokes, just not ideal there for the Tigers. Yikes. We expected a higher scoring performance than Auburn. I thought there was going to be some mismatches that Auburn would be able to take advantage of defensively. Swing and a miss there. Swing and a big miss there. Only 56 points right now with a minute 30 left for the Tigers. I admittedly did not see that coming. But so that one's got a minute 20 left, and I'll jump around here before to catch the end of that one. Mississippi State, folks. I've been hard on them. Okay. I was down on them in the preseason. I've been hard on them in the season. They needed this one. Now, I'm not over here saying Mississippi State is going to make the Final Four. All I'm saying is you needed a win. You got to win. Never going to apologize for losing. Okay. Memphis had a lead. Okay. Memphis, what was it? Minimum win probability for Mississippi State, 28% with 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left in the game. Mississippi State had a 28% chance to win. Mississippi State loses this game. They're basically out of the tournament. You'd be entering conference play with your best win being 128th Utah or 133rd Georgia Tech. So to grab this win, man, it's not a lot. Okay, Memphis is 74th, but it's something. It's something to work off of. Okay, Jaden Epps scores 19. Josh Hubbard scores 17. And you've got something to work with. Jaden Epps struggled with injuries early in the season. So did Josh Hubbard. Seems like both of them are as close to 100% as they've been all year. We saw the rotation get slimmed down. Jan's been playing a lot of guys. No Brandon Walker in this game. He's been starting. No Brandon Walker in this game. I've been saying Sergey Makura this whole year, thinking Makura is just like JP Makura from Xavier and a Trayvon Blewett team of, a ways back now. But it's Masura. It's a S instead of a C. It's been throwing me off all night. But you got that Hubbard and Epps duo finally healthy, and you've narrowed that rotation down to about 8 guys. King Grace did play 5 minutes off the bench, but I think Mississippi State is as close to finding an identity as they've been all year. Once again, I'm going to emphasize, I'm not overreacting saying Mississippi State this or that. They needed a big win, had every opportunity for Memphis to take that one down the stretch. Aaron Bradshaw had a big 3 he missed. There were a few turnovers. Mississippi State turns the ball over late, and then Memphis just throws it out of bounds. Oh, my gosh, pulling my hair out watching that. Mississippi State trying to get the ball in, but you're going to take it, right? We needed that win. Mississippi State still 87th in KenPom. Bart Torvik right now gives Mississippi State, oh, you got to be kidding me. I shouldn't have looked. 0.1% chance to make the tournament, but we're going to call that a bunch of baloney. Bunch of baloney there. Don't pay any attention to that, Mississippi State fans. You got to win. Looking ahead for the Bulldogs. You got Alabama State at home, and then you open up a little bit of an interesting opening here, SEC play for Mississippi State. Open up at Texas. You're going to be, an underdog in that game, but it's not, a top 5 team in the league. And then you're home against Oklahoma. Texas, Oklahoma to start out SEC play. And it's not the gauntlet some teams have to start. So Mississippi State, maybe they found something here. Maybe they found something. It looks like Auburn and Purdue have gone final. Before I get to Auburn and Purdue, about to jump over there. I'm going to try my takeout at a little ad read here. How about some yearly company? I don't know if you're going to be going out and really in the jewelry shopping mood tonight, but hey, maybe you need to pick me up. Maybe you need a Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition, designed for meaning. Each piece is crafted from solid 14-karat gold, natural gemstones made to measure for a perfect fit, backed by a lifetime guarantee. How many lifetime guarantees can you get nowadays? I don't have many lifetime guarantees. Yearly Co's giving you a lifetime guarantee. Every bangle is custom sized. Knowing your size, the most important step. That's where your sizing kit comes in. Use code SE16KIT. It's going to take 100% off your sizing kit. 100% off, lifetime guarantees. 100% off, lifetime guarantees, yearly company. What can you say, folks? And ROKFORM. Now, maybe you could use some ROKFORM tonight, because I'll tell you what, maybe you could have used the world's strongest magnetic phone case to let a little steam off tonight. ROKFORM, they got all the different phone accessories, portable chargers, phone in your car stands if you need it, whatever you can think of. Phone accessory wise, ROKFORM's got it. Extreme protection, super strong magnets. SE25, code SEC25 for 25% off your order at ROKFORM. There's a reason why Blake usually does these. A little bit rusty there. A little bit rusty. Been a while since I've done ad reads. All right, jumping back in here. I don't think we have too many Auburn fans in the chat here, but man, that was a tough one. Braden Smith had about 8 assists 8 minutes into the game. He was just doing whatever he wanted to this Auburn defense. There was not much resistance around the rim. There were a good amount of plays where I felt like Auburn was in good position. I had the quad box going for this one. If I could flip my camera right now, I got a nice setup I could show you guys. But I thought that like a lot of the duck-ins that TKR was getting, there was good. Like he was pushed out to the elbow a lot. Man, he just made some nice plays, get into the rim, some nice moves. Jovic did what he could, but it wasn't much. I thought Murph got a few tough foul calls, but like I've said all year, guys, I mean, just Murph is not a 5. He's never been a 5. He wasn't a 5 at Mississippi State. He played next to Tolu Smith. He didn't play behind Tolu Smith. Jimmy Bell was behind Tolu Smith. It was Murph and Cam Matthews at the 4. And so you got a guy playing, undersized a little bit, and you're going against Purdue with Clough and TKR. And hey, I'll admit, I was after that Purdue exhibition and after even the first few games of the regular season, I'm judging Clough too hard. I'm saying this guy was talked up to be one of the best rebounders in the nation. He's supposed to be this front court piece that elevates Purdue to number 1 team in the country. I don't see it. I think it just took Clough a little bit of time to adjust, because maybe he's not, one of the top bigs in the country, but he does his job well. I mean, he's not out of position on rebounds. And even if, Clough, 7 rebounds, how many rebounds were created by him just occupying bodies, right? I felt like there was never just a one-on-one box out, Murph against Clough or Deshaun Hall against Clough, whoever it was. And it was like, oh, Auburn won that matchup. It had to be like 3 bodies hanging on the guy. And then, it opens up an offensive rebound elsewhere. I wasn't able to catch the second half of this one, guys. So I don't have too much to comment on that, but it looks like it was much of the same from the first half. And similar to Arkansas. Yeah, you dig yourself a hole against these elite teams, and you can fight, you can push back, but a lot of the times you're going to be in too deep of a hole to come back, and you saw that in both games tonight, and for different reasons. When you're looking at a little bit of the turnover numbers, Todd Pettiford, 1 assist, 1 turnover. Got to get more shot creation from your point guard. Gotta credit the Purdue defense. I was wrong about the Purdue defense coming into this match. I said in our preview, I said, hey, I endorse the over. Well, looks like Purdue did their part, but man, really good defensive game plan there by Purdue. And now, guys, this is back-to-back big game letdowns for Auburn. You bounce back after the Michigan game, St. John's win, and well, St. John's win isn't looking as elite anymore. And then NC State at home, not a bad win, but if you guys, sidebar, you guys saw Will Wade's press conference this week, ripping his team apart. This is one of the most entertaining press conferences I've ever seen. It's like a 4-minute clip of Will Wade just destroying the Wolfpack. He saying like, you think you're tough? You're not even in the top 50 toughest players. Anyways, geez, see, this is what happens when I'm by myself. Get off track. But point I'm trying to make, NC State, all right win. 68 points against Arizona, 60 points against Purdue. That's kind of back-to-back big game letdowns offensively. And if you look at, Tahad in both of those, 4 combined assists. Last year, Pettiford's assist rate, 23%. If you look at Tahad Pettiford's assist rate only in SEC play, 22.8% assist rate. That was 13th in the league last year. He's a top 15 shot creator in the SEC last year. So that assist rate last year, 23%. Right now it's at 15. It's fallen off a cliff. A lot of that has to do with, you don't have a Miles Kelly. You don't have a Janai Broom. You don't have these elite, shot makers, as many of them as last year. Last year's team was special. But still, you can't have your assist rate drop off by 8% in a year where you're supposed to take a leap. It's hurting the Auburn offense right now. You can kind of see teams starting to bracket Keshawn Hall. He loves that shake and bake, get to the baseline, bully his way in, muscle up a shot, starting to double him early. You're starting to see the Kevin Overton threes. A little bit tighter on the closeout now on Kevin Overton threes. He did have 4 of 11, but made some tough ones. Not a lot of those Overton threes were open. Auburn's going to have to make adjustments. You can't just and Stephen Pearl, he'll tell you this, he doesn't hold back in his press conferences. You can't just hope Overton and Hall go off. Can't just hope they have a huge game. Got to manufacture a bit more efficiency on the offensive end. Right now, Auburn still has 16th ranked. Their offensive efficiency on KenPom still ranked top 20. The defense is back at 85th after last year it was top 10. So you've really seen the effect of no Cardwell and no Broom there, as well as no Denver Jones. You don't have that guard lockdown. Adjustments. You need some adjustments here. You got one game against Queens. Queens is making their SEC. They're making their rounds. Should win that game by about 20. And then not an easy start. Not an easy start to SEC play. Got to go on the road to Georgia. Maybe, preseason, it looked like, hey, we're at Georgia, and then we get home against A&M in Arkansas. Could start out 3-0 with picking up some big wins at home if we go on the road and beat Georgia. But now, hey, KenPom's got that Georgia game, 89-83 Bulldogs. That'll be about a multi-basket spread there in Georgia's favor. So, I don't know. I don't have the answers. I do not have the answers, but I think you need a little bit more balance. You can't rely on Keshawn Hall and Overton to create everything. Maybe it's a little bit more of Magwood. Magwood's assist rate in limited minutes, so it's harder on the analytics when you're looking at a starter's rates against a backups rates, because obviously if you play 5 minutes, have 1 assist, your assist rate is going to be great. But he does have an assist rate of 30%. That's double Todd Pettiford's assist rate right now. So, I mean, in the past 3 games, Magwood has 6 assists in about 12 minutes a game. And so does Pettiford, but in about 32 minutes a game. I don't know. Maybe play 2-point guards, at the same time. It's working for Houston tonight, having Flemings and Uzan out there. Now it's a little bit different. Flemings is unbelievable, and Uzan is about 6'4", 6'5". It's a little bit different, but still, maybe you play 2-point guards out there. You're not relying on Keshawn Hall to just do his shake and bake and try to. Teams are onto that now, and it's a tough ask to tell Keshawn Murphy to play out of position, guard the 5, and then also we need you creating mismatches on offense. You need to be a versatile mismatch nightmare, hitting mid-range pull-ups, having your game. This guy's dying out there. He's guarding TKR and Clough. You get him an oxygen tank. That's a tough ask to tell Murph to go do it both ways, playing a little bit undersized. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit too hard on the Tigers. Maybe I'm being a little bit too hard. But the eye test, guys, let's be honest. The eye test has not been there the past 2 primetime big games. And they're 2 weeks apart. And you only had Chattanooga in between. It's a little tough right now. You've dropped a good amount in the analytics. Before that Arizona game, the Tigers go into that game 20th in KenPom. After 3 games, they're back to net 39th. Now, I know it's still early. Big results can swing it. But that's how rough the past 2 weeks have been for Auburn. 20th to 39th analytically. Got to make some adjustments. I'm not sure exactly what it may be, given the depth of the front court right now. Right now, if you look at the depth, when you're looking at the depth chart over the past 5 games, Keshawn Murphy's played 55% of possessions at the 5. The next, at 35% of possessions at the 5, it's Keshawn Hall. 6'7", Keshawn Hall is playing 35 of Auburn's possessions at the 5. This is a guy that has big guard in his Twitter bio, playing the 5 against Purdue. What do you think's going to happen? I mean, geez, it's a tough spot to put these guys in. So we'll see, but Auburn's going to have to make some changes defensively. Maybe you're throwing out zones, try to get the ball out of the paint, try to protect the rim a little bit more. I'm not sure. Got to change something though. All right. I went on a little bit of a tangent there. I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't paying attention to the chat as much. Still got about 200 plus in here. Appreciate everybody that has hopped in. Holly says, hang in there, Hogs fans. Gonna go cheer for Texas Tech to beat Duke. Hey, SEC fans, it was a tough night. Big Blue Nation saved the day. We have not been able to say that very many times this year. Big Blue Nation saves the day. We did do a stream on that after the Cats' big win against Jaden Quaintance's big win. Here, I'll tell you a little short story. So my roommate, huge, passionate college basketball fan, huge college basketball fan. He was on a flight today. He said, what happened with Kentucky? I said, Jaden Quaintance is one of the best defensive bigs in the nation. He might be the best. It was him and Zuby one-on-one. Zuby doing every move Zuby does, backing him down. Fake spin move this way, pump fake. Zuby shoulder into him. Jaden Quaintance back in your face. It was something. I haven't seen anybody do that to Zuby in a while. I said there's something different. There is something different about this Jaden Quaintance guy defensively. He is going to be a game changer for the Cats. You add in Mo Diabate. I will say, guys, it's hard to watch Jalen Lowe when he gets hurt like that because he's toughing it out. And if you've played, a lot of you guys that are, and gals, that are, passionate basketball fans, you probably grew up playing sports or were somehow around it. You gotta admire Jalen Lowe's, his competitive fire. But it's hard to watch at times. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just don't get hurt out there, man. You're playing hurt. Don't get hurt out there. Keep that shoulder all right. But if that's any indication of the guts that Jalen Lowe has, shoulder popping in and out, coming back on, coach, put me back out there. We need to win this game. Put me back out there. I'm going to give us a good chance to win this game. That's not the Kentucky team that was playing last month, even 2 weeks ago. Feels different. Got a different feeling. 2 weeks ago, Mark Pope was saying, Mo Diabate, it's an ankle sprain. He's got a torn ligament in the ankle. I don't know. We're trying to get him back. Like, oh, geez. Mo Diabate might be out for a while. Don't even know if Jalen Lowe's going to play this year. He's getting 6, 8, 9, 10 opinions on this shoulder. Is he going to be back? When's Jaden Quain's going to play? I mean, wow. Look at how much has changed. Just the momentum, the feeling. If there's a stadium pulse on the vibes around Kentucky's toughness and defense right now, it's the best you've felt all year. So what a performance by the healthy Cats, saving the day, because, man, I'm not going to lie. I was real excited for this Saturday. Short slate, but 4 big games. And, I mean, hey, let's be honest. We had been riding high. The SEC had been riding high this week, had some big wins, some good performances. Let down here on a Saturday night. I'm going to do a little 5-minute warning. Been on for almost 40 minutes here, talking some hoops. A little 5-minute warning. Get any questions, any comments that you want me to grab on, any takes you have. What do you think about Auburn's past, 2 games against Purdue, Arizona? Is it smash the panic button time? Did we get our panic buttons out? Did we get the sledgehammer out? What's your Auburn fans? What's your level of panic? 1 through 10, if you're in here. Same with Arkansas. I asked the Arkansas fans earlier, a little bit worried about Malik Thomas, but guys, the talent's there. I think he's just going through a little bit of a mental thing. Guys, you also got to understand. I mean, this isn't college basketball even 10 years ago. These guys have a bad game. They're not just not going to go on their phone. You think they're just not going to see what people say about them? Have a few bad games. It's tough on the mental. Xavier Lee went through it. Xavier Lee said in his press conference, he didn't hold back either. Sometimes you just get a little coach speak, player speak. Yeah, I'm just working, it'll start coming around my way. Xavier Lee kind of opened up about it. Xavier Lee was like, dude, it's been brutal. It's been really tough. I've been kind of depressed. It's been hard. This has been a grind. And look at him, grinded through it. Performing great right now for the Gators, leading the Gators in the backcourt. Can tell Malik Thomas is dealing with a little bit of something too. I think he just needs to get his confidence back. Maybe Cal's got to pull some strings. It worked on Malik Ewan, showing the film to the team of his film at Florida State. Look at how Malik Ewan's been. He was going through a rut. I'm not worried about the Hogs, folks. I'm not worried about the Hogs. I think they will be just fine. You caught Houston on a great shooting night. You did not perform well in the first half. You didn't perform well enough in the second half. And that's what's going to happen when you play a Houston team that is just pissed off and hadn't won their big time game. They lost the Tennessee game. They went to overtime with Syracuse. That's a Calvin Sampson team that needed this win tonight because they only have Middle Tennessee left on their non-conference schedule. They needed a marquee win on a neutral floor, and they get one tonight. Tough night for the Hogs. Tough night for the Tigers. Big Blue Nation. Have yourself a day. And I think I'm going to wrap up out of here. God bless everybody. Merry Christmas. Not happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And I believe next time I will be back. We'll be back with power rankings on Monday. We'll be back with power ranking. And oh my gosh, is it going to be an eventful power rankings? I have no clue where to start now. We had Arkansas at number 1 in our power rankings this past Monday. Might need to take an extra hour this weekend to get those done. But we'll have power rankings on Monday. We'll have our members only. Blake Barr will be back next week. We had to take this weekend off. Blake's voice was in and out this whole week. So our NCAA 2K8 video game season first game will be next week. And then our members only mailbag as well, and a whole bunch of predictions to go with. And it already looks like we've got some opinions on power rankings. Brett says Vanderbilt number 1, I guess, doesn't feel right. And then Cheap Shot Artist, Max, if you all put Vandy at 1, we're all unsubscribing. Hey, you guys know bribes are accepted on the power rankings. Love doing them live and having you guys in the chat weighing in. All right, everybody. This has been Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel. I will see you Monday morning with power rankings. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.